MW4 finally has the hardware to push Call of Duty further. The question is whether the developers have actually used it to make a better game. I'm Noalytic, and today we find out that MW4 is skipping the PS4 and Xbox One entirely. But dropping legacy consoles doesn't automatically mean the game is good. What matters to you and me, the people logging on after work for a few solid matches, is whether this game is actually fun, whether it respects our time, and whether it's worth our hard-earned cash. If you're trying to decide whether to jump into this game when it launches on the 23rd of October, or save your money, let's break down what's actually under the hood. Let's start with the big picture. Infinity Ward is positioning MW4 as a direct correction, of course. Over the last couple of years, the series felt like it was drifting into a hyperspeed arcade territory, complete with silly crossovers and movement mechanics that required a second keyboard just to slide cancel across a corridor. MW4 is attempting to drag the franchise back to what made the 2019 reboot work. Heavy, punchy gunplay, crisp situational audio, realistic military immersion, and tactical decisions making over frantic button smashing. It's aiming to be a grounded, current-gen shooter for players who prefer clever positioning over jumping around every single. For the campaign players, the story shifts to a global crisis on the Korean peninsula, but half the narrative focuses on a vengeful, off-the-grid Captain Price operating strictly outside the law. The key improvement here is a mission structure. Infinity Ward has scrapped these empty, artificial, open combat sandbox missions from MW3 that felt like offline Warzone matches with extra steps. Instead, they've introduced off-book infiltrations. These are tightly designed, tactical objectives where you choose your entry point, lighting controls, and approach, whether that's the quiet night vision stealth or breaching through a wall, without sacrificing cinematic pacing. For casual players who enjoy a solid 6 to 8 hour story that feels like a high-budget action thriller, the campaign is looking like a return to form. Now we come to multiplayer. This is where most of your hours will go, and this is where the evidence gets interesting. First, the movement. Sliding and mantling are fluid, but weight has been restored to your operator. You won't see players bouncing off walls like pinballs anymore. Guns have a realistic visual kick and mechanical weight, but enemy visibility has been significantly improved over MW 2019, so you aren't dying to someone crouching in a dark corner quite as often. The biggest gamble, however, is the map design. MW4 launches with 12 core maps, but they're built using a brand new modular architecture. The game uses purpose-built map sections that can shift lanes and flank routes between matches, offering hundreds of variations. Now, here's where creator opinions split. Tactical players love it because you can't simply memorize one optimal power position and camp there for 6 months. You have to adapt on the fly. On the flip side, some competitive creators worry it dilutes iconic map callouts. For the casual gamer, it means matches stay fresh longer, provided Infinity Ward keeps the environments visually distinct, so they don't all look like the same concrete factory. Then we have DMZ. MW4 is giving DMZ its own dedicated development focus, rather than treating it like a side experiment. The new loop focuses on dynamic exclusion zones, fluctuating weather systems, and off-the-books gear trading. If you're a solo player or someone who enjoys tactical extraction gameplay without needing a Sweatlord 4-stack team, this is huge. It hits the sweet spot between the ultra-hardcore, inventory-heavy punishment of Tarkov and the accessible, high-stakes extraction loop we loved in early DMZ, Arc Raiders, and Delta Force. It gives casual players a meaningful progression loop where every successful extraction actually feels earned. Let's weigh up the evidence on what works and what doesn't. In the what works category, we have the current gen focus. So without the PS4 constraints, lighting, frame stability, and positional audio, we are top tier as per the information in the reviews I've seen. Onto the grounded combat, The reviews show that the guns feel punchy, tactical positioning matters, and movement feels natural rather than broken. Then we have the flexible progression. Reading articles on this and the dual path prestige system lets you progress without stripping away all of your unlocked loadouts if you don't want the hassle. Now, onto what doesn't. We have the unforgiving TTK. The fast, lethal time to kill means if your positioning is poor, you're back to the spawn screen before you can react. The modular risk. If the modular map sections start feeling visually repetitive after 50 matches, I feel the novelty will wear off fast. So, who is MW4 actually for? If you loved MW 2019, enjoyed tactical squad play, or want a high-stakes extraction mode in DMZ without needing a degree in inventory management, MW4 is shaping up to be a brilliant package. If you're looking for a floaty, ultra-fast arcade shooter with constant sliding and cartoon aesthetics, you might want to wait for the August beta before dropping £70 on the standard version. Final verdict: MW4 isn't trying to reinvent the wheel, it's stripping away years of unnecessary bloat to give us a clean, high-production military shooter. If the August beta proves the modular maps hold up under real player strain, this is a day one pick for a tactical shooter fan. I'm Nolytic, and if you found this breakdown helpful, why not drop me a like, follow, and hit that subscribe button to keep up with all the latest MW4 intel, beta guides, and tactical breakdowns. Cheers for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.